Following the victory at Sedan, the southern German states entered into negotiations about joining the North German Confederation. There was little resistance in Baden. In fact, the government of Grand Duke Frederick I had already tried to join twice before, but had been rejected for reasons regarding foreign policy. The Hessian government was a bit more skeptical, but since Upper Hesse already was part of the Confederation and the Hessian people were still clamoring for a German empire, the Grand Duke Louis III eventually agreed as well. The situation was different in Württemberg and Bavaria. Both kingdoms had a history of both cultural and political independence. Moreover, both kingdoms were majority Catholic, so the prospect of being dominated by Protestant Prussia was unappealing. After getting lots of concessions from Bismarck that guaranteed a large degree of independence, King Charles I of Württemberg did agree to German unity. King Louis II of Bavaria was a little harder to convince. Eventually, he caved after getting similar concessions, as well as a large sum of money for his pet project, the construction of Neuschwanstein Castle. He even signed a letter suggesting that King William should be the one to receive the imperial crown. On December 10, 1870, the southern German states joined the North German Confederation, which was then renamed to the German Empire. Now there was only one person Bismarck had to convince, the King of Prussia himself. William was skeptical of becoming emperor, since he feared it would overshadow his kingdom of Prussia. He would agree, but only under the condition that his official title would be Emperor of Germany. Bismarck vehemently opposed this. Austria was still considered a German state, and he feared that this title would imply a claim to rulership that would lead to conflict in the future. After another heated debate with Bismarck, the king remained adamant. Emperor of Germany, or nothing. On January 17, 1871, the German princes gathered in the Hall of Mirrors in the Castle of Versailles to proclaim the German Empire. Since he had been unable to convince the king to accept the intended title of German Emperor, Bismarck took to subterfuge. He instructed the Grand Duke of Baden, who would read out the proclamation, to avoid either title. Frederick then proclaimed William as just Emperor Wilhelm. At first the king was upset. After the ceremony, he refused to shake Bismarck's hand. However, he eventually accepted the title and rewarded Bismarck by making him a prince.
It is sometimes hard to be emperor under this chancellor.
Whereby does one deserve the grace of God? To live to see such great and powerful things, and how would one live after it? What has been both desire and aspiration for 20 years has been fulfilled in such a glorious manner. Heinrich von Zübel.
The new German Empire stretched from Alsace-Lorraine in the southwest up to Königsberg in the northeast. It covered an area of roughly 200,000 square miles and had around 40 million inhabitants. With the combined military and economic power of the German states, it immediately became the most powerful nation on the European continent. The other European powers were wary of this drastic change in the balance of power. Bismarck had his work cut out for him. By God's will, what was necessary for Germany has been accomplished. But there appear only more dangers and damages. Damages that one has to try and mend, even though one cannot know whether mending them is possible. I often yearn for peace, but there can be no peace for me. Now opting for diplomacy instead of war, he began to work on securing the new German nation. For 19 years, until he was dismissed by Emperor Wilhelm II, Bismarck remained imperial chancellor, shaping Germany into one of the greatest nations the world had ever seen. But it would not last. Otto von Bismarck died in 1898. The empire he had built would survive him by only 20 years, until it was swept away in a brutal and pointless inferno that destroyed the old world order and paved the way for some of the great horrors of the 20th century.